Hey leaders, it's Monique Alvarez here, and what I want to talk about today is this. Another word for leadership is influence. Influential people, leaders, movers and shakers, they're basically all the same thing. But what you want to keep in mind is this, is influential people, what they literally do is they affect the behavior, the actions, the thoughts, the opinions of others. And what I like to think of in terms of our group is that we are a group that's going to affect those things for the good in order to take things to a higher place and for the better of individuals, of families, of communities, and businesses. Time magazine often names the year's most influential people. And what I want you to think about is this. Who are the most influential people in your life? It may be people that you know really well. Some of you may feel like you know Oprah, but she's one that's maybe taught from a distance. And I want you to think about the most influential person you personally know. What effect have they had on you? And how do they live their life? I want you to really take time to think about this. Sometimes people have such an influence on us, and we really don't stop to think about how that came about or why that came about. I know for myself, I've been thinking about family members who have been very influential for me, as well as recently people in our business who've been influential. And what I want you to do is this. Study them. What do they do? How do they think? Who do they hang around? How do they talk? How do they walk? There's going to be distinct things that are going to jump out. And there's probably a pattern. Even though everyone is very individual and unique, you're going to see a pattern form. So another thing I want you to do is this. Think about how aggressive, how persistent, how serious are you about spending your time with influential people. I know that you have to be really careful who you spend your time with. And that's why it's huge for me to have you spending your time with me. Because who we spend our time with determines who we become. Now, I had mentioned there's someone very influential recently who's come into Derek and I's life in terms of business. Her name is Diane Hockman. We pay 3 different ways to have Diane as close as possible. In fact, when we had the chance to be able to spend time with her every single day for 6 weeks, we did it. We jumped on it. We have, like I said, we have 3 different ways. Who are you spending your time with, and how serious are you taking it? What are you doing to make that happen on an ongoing basis? And the last thing I want you to think about is this. What is your level of influence? How many people do you influence on a regular basis? Think about that. Because there's a correlation between influence, income, fulfillment. All of these things are connected. Some of you, when I said invite someone to this training, you did. You invited someone. But others of you invited lots of people. You know what that told me? You are influential. There are ringleaders, and I see them all the time on Facebook. I see them at networking events. I even see them from a distance, whether it's at a restaurant or a meeting. I want you to think about your capacity to influence others. What is it? And compare your behavior to those people that you consider to be very influential. What are the differences? Be honest with yourself, and remember, write it down. Until next time, it's Monique Alvarez from I Love Leaders.